Okay. Now, we're going to continue with our projects that are being carved out of a block of wood. And like I said, I know a lot of you do not have, as beginners, have access to bandsaws, so I'm trying to teach you that, you don't have to give up carving because you don't have a bandsaw. You can simply get a block of wood and you can carve certain figures out of that. And today, what we're going to do is, just like we carve that Santa out of a block of wood, we're going to carve a figure out of a block of wood. Much similar to the first figure that I carved, but he's going to be a little bit different. And I'm going to show you how that you can carve a figure out of a block of wood without having to cut it out on a bandsaw. So what we're going to do is, the first thing I want you to understand about a figure is, now this block of wood is 1 1/4 inches thick by 1 1/4 inches by 5 inches long. That's 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 by 5 inches long. Now you can make it smaller, or you can, you can go 1 inch or whatever. But this is what I'm starting off with. In fact, this is the same dimensions that the Santa Claus was. So that's why I chose it to be that way. Now, the thing you're going to have to understand about a figure is there are 3 parts to the figure. Now, this may sound elementary to a lot of you, but as we get started, that's what we're going to do. There's your head, there's your body, and there's your feet. Just like a normal individual is. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to establish my sight line of where the head will stop. And so, let me put this down here. What I'm going to do is take my ruler, and I'm going to measure the head 1 1/2 inches below the front of the piece right here. That's 1 1/2 inches right there. And I'm going to mark it. That's where my head's going to be. 1 1/2 inches. Okay? And I'm going to come to the back of this, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure 1 1/2 inches on both sides. Okay? See how that joins together? And do the same all the way around the piece. All I'm doing is just where my head is going to be on the figure. 1 1/2 inches. One 1/2 inches. Okay, you see? That's all I've done. All I've done is just simply establish where the head's going to be. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to establish where the feet are going to be. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up at the bottom of this about a 1/2 inch. And there it is. There's a 1/2 inch right there. There it is right there. And I'm going to mark that. So, see what I've done? This is where my head is going to be. As you can see, the body is about. That's where my head's going to be. There's where the body's going to be. And this is where the feet's going to be. Okay? Alright. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start separating, just like this, where the body and the head meet together. See, all I'm doing is just sort of giving you a general idea where the head and the body are going to meet together. We're just going to take that wood away right there. Okay, you see? See what I've done here? All I've done is just establish where the head and the body meet. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do the same thing on the feet. Like I said, he's not going to be a real difficult figure. But all we're doing is we're establishing our lines where the different parts of the body go. There we go. Now, when we look at our figure, this right here. When we look at our figure, we have the separation of the head, the body, and the feet. And that's what your figure is going to be consisted of. Okay. Now I'm going to move a little bit more wood here to give a sort of an idea of what we're doing. Now, and there you go. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to work on the head a little bit. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to round that head off because it's completely square right now. What we're going to do, we're going to come up here and we're just going to go from all four sides of that figure, of that head, and we're going to round it off. See what I'm doing? See that? I've gone from all four sides of that figure and I'm rounding that head off. Just like that. Because the top of the head is not going to be square. We're just kind of rounding that off. See what we're doing? There we go.